A child spends a small or a major part of their childhood in early childhood education, and thus it is not irrelevant in which kind of atmosphere and operational culture the child spends their time. Our key factors in early childhood education are playing as a starting point for a child's learning and holistic well-being. Playing has an important role in the development of various skills, such as communicational skills. There should be enough time and space for playing, as well as freedom and active attention and appreciation provided by the educators during playtime. A child's role in the planning of everyday life in early childhood education. Instead of everyday life in early childhood education being determined by the educators and the content they have pre-planned, the focus is put on the children, on their interests, initiatives, ideas, and implication. A child should be able to affect on the issues that concern themselves and on the content of the education they receive. Learning can happen at any moment. All possible learning opportunities are meaningful. A child learns new things and has new experiences constantly. Therefore, as educators, we need to make use of the moments and learning opportunities which occur in everyday life. We must seize the moment as a learning opportunity occurs and turn it into a meaningful point in the day together with the children. A child's strengths as a resource. In order for a child to develop a positive self-image, it is important to focus on the strengths of the child and on the positive resources they have. Listening, encounter, and appreciation. These three factors create a base for early childhood education and for educational partnership with the guardians, as well as for the cooperation of the daycare staff. Learning and realizations together. In early childhood education, everyday life is experienced and shared by children and adults. Everyday life and its contents are planned in cooperation with the children by engaging in conversation with the children. Shared and versatile activities, as well as diving into the world of playing and stories, form the core of everyday life.
Being a small child is a holistic experience, and a child learns new things every moment. Traditionally in daycare culture, an adult has determined the time, the place, the content and the methods of learning, and the adult has been responsible for informing and teaching the child what they should be learning. However, children learn best when they're interested in what they're learning and when they're committed to the learning process. The new National Core Curriculum for Early Childhood Education guides us in the direction that us, the educators, should be more aware of the children's interests and the current issues concerning them. We should do our best to recognize the children's sensitive periods for learning different skills and to seize a learning opportunity as one occurs. Learning should not happen only during pre-planned learning sessions. This type of operational culture requires more spontaneity, seizing the moment, and flexibility. However, it gives more than it takes. When children's interests are taken into consideration, they are more committed to the learning and to the activities provided to them. This enables execution of projects which are planned in cooperation with the children and which grow and develop as the children and the adults in daycare work together on them. As a result, the children learn about the world we live in and its different phenomena.
The Cat Project is a concrete example of an everyday life situation in which the children had played cats by the coat racks for a couple of days. Instead of interrupting the game for a pre-planned learning session or for another activity, the educators decided to get in on the game as well. The children were given advice on how to improve and advance the game. And this resulted in a project in which a suitable playing environment for the cat game was built and accessories such as headpieces, tails and ears were also made. Another example worth mentioning is the do-it-yourself project in which a nook for playing home was built outside by making use of pallets. Some projects only last for a little while, for one day or 1 week, while others turn into larger-scale projects which are linked to the typical behavioral ways of children. Music, arts, sports, playing, exploration, mathematics, natural phenomena, language development, media education, and other themes can be included in these projects in various ways. The main focus of these projects was on the children's interests and on making everyday daycare life more versatile. Each child does not have to do the same things and be interested in the same things. In a flexible environment, each child is given opportunities to find their own ways of expressing themselves and to become committed to the activities which are arranged for them. Even if the children's interests act as a starting points for projects, the educator's role is essential. It is the educator's job to include current issues and themes into the learning sessions, to enrich the operational culture by bringing new elements to the ways different themes are dealt with, to support the children in the realization of the projects, and to help them with the planning and documentation of the projects.
New national curriculum for early childhood education emphasizes a child's participation, cooperation, and their opportunities to take part in the planning of everyday life in daycare. It is the educator's job to offer the children versatile opportunities to play, move, explore, do arts, express themselves in different ways, enjoy music and stories, dance and do crafts, without the adults predetermining what is done, when, by who, with whom, how, and what the children should be interested in. The educator's task is to encourage the children to think independently, to take initiatives, and to let them have chances to affect the ways their days are constructed. They learn how to make choices, think about the consequences of their choices, make mutual agreements and rules, negotiate, discuss, think of ways how to make everyone around them feel good, and to think how their actions affect others. Is it then so that children no longer have to do anything that they don't want to do? There are always things and routines in the daily schedule of everyday daycare life, which the children are not able to change, and which they must do whether they wanted to or not. The point is not to make the children take care of themselves and of their own safety and well-being. It is more about giving them small chances to affect their everyday lives. For example, everyone eats at the same time, but children may be given a chance to affect how much food is put on their plate, where they sit, when they eat their piece of bread or drink their milk. Experience has shown that giving children these kinds of small opportunities to affect their lives during everyday situations, such as meal times, helps these situations to run more smoothly. The same applies to nap time. Children's independent thinking can be encouraged by having them think what kind of clothes would be comfortable for nap time, which friends they need around them to sleep tight, what makes nap time a nice moment in the day, and whether it would be nice to listen to a story from a CD or from a book, for example.
The educators should make sure that every child is given opportunities to influence their lives and to try new activities in order to find new interests and ways to express themselves. Instead of looking things from the point of view that some things must be done, a more positive approach should be taken. For example, a common situation in many daycare groups is that a child or a group of children get excited about playing with toy cars. They are so excited that they would not want to do anything else. Instead of interrupting the game, new elements and ideas can be brought into the game. One child group executed a parking house project in which the children planned the parking houses and made them in a workshop using a saw, a hammer, glue and paint. This brought playing with the cars to the next level, and new content and elements were brought into the game as well. The new national curriculum for early childhood education states that the operational culture in early childhood education should focus on negotiation, discussion and collaboration, mutual ideation and coexisting. Together we'll learn how to take initiatives, to make choices and compromises, and how to negotiate together about the ways we build our everyday lives in daycare. Expressing one's own opinion is important, as well as listening to others and taking their thoughts and ideas into consideration. We learn ways how to be a human being and how to communicate with one another. These are important life skills. The main goal of early childhood education is to raise children who can think, have positive self-images, are able to negotiate, are active, innovative and creative, and who have good communicational skills. Children who have learned the principle of reciprocity. I listen and I will be heard.